There's something in you that's saying, I don't have exactly what I want. The work that I do, the money that I make, the way that I spend my time isn't helping me reach the goals that I ultimately want to reach. A side hustle probably isn't the answer. My name is Jason Roberts, and I'm a recruiter spending some time helping people to find work that fulfills them, that meets the needs that they have every day. If you like this content and you want to see some more, please subscribe. I'm putting things out every single week. I could really use your help. Put some comments in. Let me know what your thoughts are. This will be controversial. A lot of people will disagree with what I have to say. So tell me what you think. Put that in the comments below. I would love to see it. I'll reply back. I would love to see what you have to say, what you think about this. There's a goal out there. It could be any number of goals, but there's usually a few basic ones. I'm not making the money I need to feed my family, to clothe and house myself. That's one way that your current work isn't fulfilling that need for you. Another need that might be there is that there's something that you like to do. There's a way that you like to spend your time. There's a type of work that you want to spend your time on. And you're not getting to do that. You're doing something else completely differently. You're spending most of your time on that kind of work, and you're not reaching those sort of intrinsic needs that you have to be fulfilled. And a third thing that happens is you want to build wealth. So you've seen these people that show up in your feed. They're telling you to be an affiliate marketer. They're telling you that you should sell on Amazon. You should buy some Bitcoin and watch that stuff go nuts. They're telling you a bunch of things that you should be doing. And they're doing that when they roll up in their Lambo. They have a video in their private jet. One of those things is happening. Side hustles aren't necessarily the answer to any of those questions, to any of those issues. In fact, the way that most people end up finding fulfillment in their work, meeting the basic needs of their life, and perhaps even finding wealth is not through a side hustle. The first two of those things you can do by finding a better job, finding a better thing to do with your time. That's the way that most people achieve those goals in their lives. You find a job that pays you more, doing something that you're skilled at, that you know how to do. You're in customer service. You work at Chick-fil-A. You're not happy with the money that you make. So go work as a bank teller next. That's the next step. You can go do that. It's also customer service. I know for a fact they look for people with 6 months of experience in customer service. So those are the sorts of things that you can do. You're not fulfilled in your work. So start looking within your company for other jobs that fulfill you in bigger and deeper ways, that unlock some of the things that you need. Find a better thing. Searching for a job internally is way more straightforward than starting a whole side business. Now, building wealth, what I'll tell you is working for somebody else is not the way that big wealth building is done most of the time. You have a few CEOs, but those are very big companies. Unless they're owned, those companies are owned by the person who ultimately is the CEO of that company. Now, what ends up happening in that situation is someone started a business. And when I say start a business, it's different than a side hustle. When you start a business, that's saying, I see a need in the market and an ability to plug a hole that the market absolutely has and fulfill that need. And I'm going to go all in. I'm going to put myself into that. I may not be able to quit my job doing it. It may work in essence like a side hustle in the beginning, but ultimately, in the end, my goal is to work in this company that I've started, that I've created, and build that to something that's great, that's big, that meets all of my needs, meets my financial goals, meets my goals of being fulfilled, meets my goal of building wealth and maybe even generational wealth. That's done by building a business, is done by identifying a need and fulfilling that need. So I think there are two better paths for you than some of the side hustles that get thrown out there. It almost feels like when I open my feed, it almost feels like there's a bunch of multi-level marketers that are inundating me, trying to get me to sell their home goods or their candles or whatever the case may be, some way to make money on the side. That is not the way, man. That's not the way at all. That's not how you find fulfillment. That's not how you find the things that you need in the end. The way that you do that is you find a better thing. Most people, they find a better thing. So I'd encourage you to do two things. One, start by, if you need to meet your financial goals and you're having to carry two jobs in order to make that happen, your day job, and then you have to start a side hustle in order to just meet your basic financial needs. I would encourage you, I know this is hard, and I know you don't have time and you're just trying to make it. I would encourage you to work and spend a lot of your work time, your extra time outside of your main job, looking for another job that will help you be more fulfilled. Build a resume, find a way. I have a free guide on how to build a resume, execcongress.com/resume. You can download that. It's top 10 ways to amplify your resume. That can help you. Look for a job that meets your needs. If you're working at a company and you like the company, but you're not able to do the things that you ultimately want to do, and it's not life-giving, it's life-taking for you to go to work, find a different role. And you can do that by looking for different roles internally. The easiest way to shift gears completely, meaning I work in HR today, I want to go work in marketing because part of my job touches on marketing, but I really like that part. The best way for you to do that is to do it within the same company, to go from HR in your company to marketing in your company. Oftentimes, someone you can at least reach out to people, you can make that jump. Otherwise, if you change companies, you're going to do similar work in a different company. If you want to make a change in type of work, do it within the same company that you work in, if you like the place that you work. Now, if the challenge is you just don't like it where you are, you're unhappy, the company, the culture itself is life draining, not life giving to you, then in that case, go somewhere where you can do the work you know how to do. I'm in HR, so I'm a recruiter. So I would go and be a recruiter at a company that has a culture that's more in line with who I want to be and what I want to do. But you can do that for sure. That's absolutely possible for you. You're not stuck. Nobody is ever stuck. We live in the greatest land in the world. You can try all sorts of things and you're not stuck. Now, if you just have this deep desire, if you're like, man, I know that there's an opening in the market right now to do this thing. There's a need in the market for something to be available that isn't available today. If you know that beyond a shadow of a doubt and you have a way of fulfilling that need in the market, then I would start that. That's how you start a business. That's the way to do it. So start that business. Lean in as much time and as much money as you can. Sacrifice the things that you need to in order to fund that business and build it up. But don't do it as a side hustle. Don't think, hey, I'm going to have this side hustle. Give me a little extra scratch to pay for my vacation. If you can't pay for vacation and the company gives you vacation, then they're just messing with you. If you can't pay for vacation and they give you vacation, you need to work somewhere else. You need to go somewhere else that pays you enough for you to be able to do what you ultimately are looking to do, not to have a second job to pay for it. Side hustle isn't your answer, man. If you want to build a business, I love building businesses. It's fun. I enjoy it thoroughly. So do that. Build that business. But don't do it because you need to be able to pay for your vacation. And if you want to build wealth, if you absolutely want to build wealth, you've got to look for that spot in the market that's open. You've got to find the way to do it. Now, what I'll tell you is, if you see it on TikTok, it's probably not the way. If a bunch of people are chasing this thing because a TikToker told them to do it, that's probably not the best way for you to make money. If you're watching the guy that says, here's 15 ways to make money online with ChatGPT, that's probably not going to be the best answer for you. That's not going to last. That's not lasting income. I see these things and I just shake my head. I'm like, man, these all sound like really good ideas. And I love the creativity that these people have in coming up with different things to do. And there's going to be one or two people who make a little bit of money on it, but it's not going to build wealth. It's a way to make money. If you were to quit your job and all you did all day was make scammy things using ChatGPT, is that a more fulfilling job? Does that meet that second criteria that I mentioned? Probably not. You might make more money than you make right now, but is that a job that you want to do all the time? Do you feel fulfilled and like you're adding to the world when that happens? I think probably not. If all you're doing is finding new ways to tweak the system and make a little more scratch, that's not going to get you where you need to go. This is me encouraging you. Don't fall for the side hustles. Don't invest your time there. Identify what needs you're trying to meet. Are you trying to meet basic survival needs? I need food, shelter, clothing. I don't have enough to pay my rent. Those basic needs, if you have to work 2 jobs, I've been there in my life 100%. When we were first married, I got married very young. We were first married, I threw papers. And in the morning, before I went and worked in my job that literally gave us a place to live and $100 a month to live on. My wife at the time worked as well. I say my wife at the time, she's still my wife. My wife worked at the time as well. So that's how we made it. But if I didn't throw papers, we did, even with a free place to stay, we couldn't make it. I've been there 100%. I know that happens. And we had to build our way out of it. The way that I did it, I found a different job. I found a job that paid me well. I used the skills that I had, used the knowledge that I had, and I grew in my career. And that's honestly, that's how most people do this. Most people grow in their careers. They meet these goals by changing jobs, finding a better thing. Let me see if I can help you in finding a better thing. Start by listening to some of the other things I've written here or I've said here on YouTube. Next, you can take any of my free resources. If you want a free guide on your resume, again, it's www.execcongress.com/resume. Or if you want to just know what the overall process is to get hired, it's execcongress.com/hired. And I've got those 2 free resources as a starter. And we'll be sending more of those things out as they come up and as we create them. Let's see if we can find you a way to meet the needs in fulfillment in your work and the needs in making the money that you need in order to have the life that you want to have. And in the wealth building side, that's not my skill. That's not exactly what I do. If you want to be a big wealth builder, if that's really what you're going for, if you want the Lambo and the jet, this way isn't the way. The way that I'm talking about, finding a better thing, is the way that most people are able to find fulfillment in their work and to meet all of their needs and be able to have some of the finer things in life.